Come on in, take off your shoes, relax, get something to drink. Welcome, guys. Are you guys hearing two songs? I want to make sure the audio is good. Is the audio okay? Are you, are you in like a mirror in the audio? It's good. All right, good. Well, this is who they allowed to have a podcast, right? I had to do it, guys. These ponies have run amok for too long. Somebody needed to give them discipline, right? So before we start, of course, I do want to say thanks to those who would have supported over the months. Thanks for those who contributed. You know, it had some guys who did contributed. Um, so before we start, let me just give some shout out here. Let me just look at the chat. Let me see. Let me see who's here. We have Backstrap Man. He has a YouTube channel. They can check him out. Very good anime news. Smitty. How you going, Smitty? Paul Rodriguez. What's up? NYG Mava. What's going on? It is a sickness, man. It's a sickness to the highest order. Day Rizzi. What up, man? ACD. What's up? What's up, chick? Firefall. What up? What up? So today what we are going to do, Did I get everybody? And Miss G, what's up? Songing good? Wonderful. So today we have a few topics. We have a few topics because what we are going to do is just cover the gaming topics for the week. In the meantime, I'm gonna have some music running in the back, very slow, very slow. Right. So okay. So when it comes to this week's gaming news, I could recall some PlayStation fans, they were hyping up Foamstars. You guys remember it? Some guys were even saying Foamstars was game of the year. You guys could believe that? We are talking about grown men playing with suds, playing with soap. You see how it's a sickness, guys? These are grown men playing with soap here. Let me show you how the PlayStation community was hyping up Foamstars. Look at this. Look, look how they were hyping this up, right? Let me see if I could share here. Let me give you this here. Slides. Okay. Let me share my screen and let me show you how these guys was hyping up Foamstars. Right? Let me share my entire. Let me share a window here. Right? I want to get started. So here we have Mr. JW. You all seen that? Is it sharing? No, it's not sharing this one. Let me see if I get it here. So yes, these guys was hyping up Foamstars for the longest while. But then all right, let me see. Video. Look at this here, guys. Look at this. This is JW here. Let me see. Like this thing doesn't want to work. Yo, thank you, guys. Thank you, NYG Marva for that $5. Yes, these guys are weak. These guys are, why I with these streams, guys, you never know what could go there. I had all these things planned out. That's all. I want to show. Let me see if I can get it here. Anyway, let me move on. Yes, so these guys were hyping up Foam Stars, but it just happened that Foam Stars is not doing too well. Because look at this here. Somebody who is a Sony fan explained this to me. We're seeing here that the PlayStation Plus game, Foamstars, has lost nearly 98 or 95% of its player base. How is this? No, I remember these guys were really backing Foamstars. And a matter of fact, there were certain guys saying, if it is you don't play Foamstars, you better unfollow me. The narrative is, guys, is that PlayStation 5 play their games, PlayStation fans play their games, PlayStation owners play their games. So what happened to Foamstars? Could anyone explain that to me? Now you could go, hey, Smitty, thank you, man. Thank you for that $5. Appreciate it. Right, congratulations on your first episode. Let's get it. And I did not read NYG Marva um, super chat. He said, Jay, get these ponies and these big jellyback pony bots too. Glad to be part of it, to be part of the new show. Thank you very much, NYG Marva. But maybe somebody who is a Sony fan could explain what happened to Foamstars. You can send me a voice note on Twitter. Let me know what is going on here. Why you think Foamstars did not how to say score well? Because I'll tell you something. Hear what it says. It said despite receiving a strong initial burst of PS Plus subscribers, when those Foamstars trophy arrived day one on the service back in February 2024, it seems that Foamstars PS Plus player count has seemingly been a free fall ever seen. Wow, 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 wow. Now, it goes on to say, now 2 months later, it seems players have all but abandoned Foamstars or other PS5 multiplayer games, with the shooter having lost over 94% of its initial PS Plus player base. Now, Sony tried something here. Sony tried to copy Splatoon. We know that Splatoon was a massive success. But if Sony knew its player base, they would know that Foamstars would not have scored well with Sony fans. I don't know why they decided to put this on the PlayStation 5. And you know what, guys? You know what made this worse? Foamstars was available on both the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. But yet still, this thing is in the dustbin. That is a massive M. Massive, massive. So don't forget, send me why you think Foamstars has lost 95%. Is it because of Hell Divers? Let me know. Game of the year, dead on arrival. Next up, guys, one thing Sony fans was also hyping up this year was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We had guys like J-Dub on Twitter saying that this was game of the year. We had persons saying that this game is unlike any other game. Now, if I was to tell you that consistently Final Fantasy has lost players since it has made a deal with Sony, what would you say? Would you believe me? Yes, consistently, the Final Fantasy franchise has become worse after making a deal with Sony. No, I remember there was a guy named was it was it Japan hates Xbox? Was it Japan hates Xbox was his name? He was saying that Xbox players hate he yeah Japan hate Xbox said that Xbox gamers are poor, they can't afford games, and because of that, that is why they have Game Pass. I remember that. Now tell me why is this happening? Tell me why this is happening. Look at this. Look at this. Let me share something here. Look at this. Let me share something here with you guys. Share screen. Look at this. You all seen that? You all seen this, yeah? What's going on? What's going on here, guys? Could anyone explain this to me? I thought I thought that Final Fantasy Rebirth was Game of the Year. I thought that this thing would have sold maybe 4 million in the first month. The way the Sony community hyped this up, I mean, it was ridiculous. Now we have Eurogamer saying Final Fantasy VII Rebirth underperforming, says industry analysts. It's selling about half of what remakes sold in the same time frame. Wow. What do you ponies have to say about this? Now, you would have Sony fans saying that the reason why Microsoft put their games onto Sony is because Sony fans buy their games, right? But isn't Final Fantasy VII Rebirth an exclusive for the PlayStation platform? Why is it selling half of its predecessor? This is ridiculous. Let's see what they wrote here on Eurogame. Hear what it says. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has reportedly sold about half the sales of its predecessor remake in the same time. That's according to industry analyst Daniel Hard, who confirmed earlier today that the highly anticipated RPG is underperforming sales-wise. Where are these ponies? Ponies, where are you? You know what? Guess what? Guess what, ponies? For not supporting your own game. Oh, no! Come on! Oh, no! Ridiculous, right? This is ridiculous. Yeah, let's set the shooter again. Let's set a shadow screen again. Come on. Right. So he said, not to be that guy, but Rebirth is underperforming sales-wise. Ahmad, who is director of the research of the Insight at Nico Partners, said on Twitter or X. When asked to justify his statement, Ahmad added, no doubt, I will ask you guys, who you think is asking to justify his statement? A pony, right? Like this guy have to come out here to cap. Hear what he says. It's selling about half of what remakes sold in the same time frame, and looks like it'll have a weaker tail prior to any PS Plus like release. When pressed for a source, a man confirmed that the sales data come from the Equities research report, who are getting the data from the usual tracker. Now, this here is important. Now, this is very important here, guys. Here, why it's important? Because the narrative that the Sony community has been promoting over the years is a lie. According to what I have been seeing on Twitter, they say that how Sony fans buy their games. Sony fans, support their game developers. But tell me this, ponies. Why are you guys not buying Final Fantasy? Does Final Fantasy need to get more skin tight bodysuits in order for you to support it? What's going on? I need to know what is going on with Final Fantasy. Consistently throughout, consistently throughout the Final Fantasy franchise, because it has made a deal with Sony, it has consistently been getting worse and worse when it comes to sales. Why is that? Now, some persons may say that how because everyone maybe is playing Helldivers. I mean, I will give Sony fans that. Helldivers is doing well. I mean, if we was to look at the concurrent players today, let's look at that. Let's look at the concurrent players. Right now, Helldivers is doing well. 198,000 persons playing with a peak of over 200,000. Helldivers is doing good. But I am of firm belief that this is not PlayStation fans playing this. This is PC fans. PC players is carrying this game. Right? If left up to Sony fans, this game would be dead in the water, just like Foamstars. But I digress. Some some persons believe it's because of Helldivers 2. That is why um, you know, um, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is doing bad. But then again, some persons are saying that why don't you talk about Palworld? Palworld would have dropped 97%. Is that 97% in player base? Let's let's look at Palworld too. Palworld, for me, let's see what Palworld is doing. Palworld was a juggernaut when it released. Look at this. So right now, it has dropped significantly. 35,000 persons are playing now. Oh, they had a peak of 90,000. But you see this year, guys. This is what is important. Palworld reached a overall peak of over 2 million. Although Helldivers is a juggernaut, Helldivers has not reached this. Look, this is Helldivers peak, just under half a million. Palworld has reached over 2 million. And this is because of strong support of Microsoft. I still say Microsoft to do a lot with Palworld. They should look into investing more money into the devs there and really, keep pumping out new content to keep the fan base busy. And no doubt they will gain back, higher player count. But yeah, this this was the news. This was the brief news for the week, right? But tell me something. In addition to that, I would like to know what is going on with the Hellblade 2 situation. You see, a lot of persons, you know, have been talking ill of Hellblade 2. They said that this game is running at 962p. They said this game is looking terrible. And a matter of fact, I heard one guy said, I don't know if it was Reforged or what have you, said that it's a downgrade. They said it's a downgrade, guys. Isn't that amazing? So here what we are going to do. Everything started when Digital Foundry um, made their analysis of footage that was sent to them. Let's go through that video and let's see this bad news, because Sony fans made a big deal of it this week. Let's see this bad news that occurred with Hellblade 2, right? Let me see some new persons that came onto the chat. I'm seeing Ozzy. Ozzy, what's up, man? I'm seeing Hazard. What up, man? And again, and understanding. Welcome to the Soul Show. Now let's look at this Hellblade, and we'll stop in between and let's see if we hear any bad news that Digital Foundry said. Right? Share screen. Share screen. That's not. Did I share the screen? Share screen. Something wrong there. Remove. Let me see something here. Share screen. Look at this here. Are you guys seeing that? Look at this here. Are you guys seeing that? Look at this here. No man, something went wrong there. Are you guys seeing that? Look at this here. No man, something went wrong. Just not. Let me pull up this Hellblade for sure. I don't know why it's not showing. Let me take this off. Okay. Let me look for Hellblade. Let me go on YouTube. And let's pull up this Digital Foundry review on Hellblade 2, because according to the Sony fans, they give Hellblade 2 a real terrible review, correct? Right, I have it. All right. Let's get sharing this thing. Present, share, Hellblade 2. Right, you guys seen that there now? Now listen carefully to what they are saying, right? We will stop it in between and we'll analyze exactly what they are saying. Listen.
Senua's saga Hellblade 2 is shaping up to be one of the most visually exciting games of the year.
Boom shot, right off the bat. This guy is saying this game is one of the best looking games he has ever seen for this year. That's what it started off like that, right? Remember, the Sony fans said that Digital Foundry gave this a bad review, right? So we are going on. Listen.
Ninja Theory's cinematic sequel looks to be making excellent use of Epic's Unreal Engine 5, producing some truly stunning results. At the same time, a lot of early footage for the game has been brief, hard to follow, and compression-ridden. Until now. We finally have the first...
No, I'll tell you guys. I tried playing the first Hellblade, and I had to take that off, man. I had on headphones, and I was hearing whispering in my ear. I was like, nah, I'm not playing this. Get behind me, Satan. Too much whispering in this game, man. I hope the second one don't have all that whispering in it. But yeah, that's just a little something with me and Hellblade 1. But so far, he started off the preview by saying that this game is really stunning, right?
5-minute drop of high-quality Hellblade 2 footage, making a proper preview a possibility. So how do these early shots pan out? Is this the Unreal Engine showcase we've been waiting for? In terms of visual features, Hellblade 2 is clearly pushing some really impressive tech. Senua's metahuman-derived facial rendering is the
Listen to me. Could somebody who is a Sony fan, in all good conscience, send a message to me on Island Gaming on Twitter? Send a voice note telling me, honestly, that this game looks bad. I dare you. Somebody, I dare some Sony fan to tell me that this game looks horrible. This game looks like 720p. let's continue.
Extreme strong point here. This is simply up there with the absolute best in video games. Everything from the subtly translucent skin shading, to the lifelike eyes, to the pitch-perfect teeth, all looks fantastic. And the animation is unbelievably good, superbly translating motion captured performances into a plausible digital character. The game also indulges in a lot of post-processing niceties, including a beautiful depth of field, which smoothly transitions between focal points and doesn't exhibit any kind of haloing artifacts. It does have a bit of aliasing around Senua's hair, but it's otherwise virtually
So this is one negative thing he said here. The anti-aliasing on Senua's hair, isn't done too well. But I will challenge anyone. I mean, who is looking at individual strands of hair when they are playing game? I don't know. I don't know if you guys like to watch at the protagonist here when it is you're playing the games, but individual strands ahead. If it is you are saying that this is bad, you are sick.
Flawless. Motion blur is similarly strong without obtrusive sampling artifacts even when we zoom in on still frames. Elsewhere, we see the typical mix of Unreal Engine 5 features, albeit deployed very effectively. If you look across the ground in much of the preview footage, we see dense nanite-driven pebbles, the kind of fine geometry that is largely absent from games with traditionally rendered polygonal meshes. Ultra-dense meshes were what impressed most in the game's 2019 debut trailer, and that has been carried over for this showing, with very pleasing density. Nanite and virtual shadow maps are two bits of graphics tech that go great together, and we see Epic's proprietary shadowing solution here as well. Again, this stands out most on the pebbles and fine rock detail, where we get perfect pin-sharp shadows even...
Did he say perfect pinpoint shadows? Are you saying that Ninja Theory was able to get their shadows perfect in this game? But according to the Sony fans, the shadows was like mud. They were telling me on Twitter for whole this week that Digital Foundry went in on Hellblade 2 and they said the shadows was mud. But I'm in pinpoint accuracy. What's going on here, guys?
At extreme angles on the smallest geometric elements. This is a combo that's very hard to fully achieve with more traditional rendering, and is a staple of other UE5 efforts like RoboCop Rogue City. Note the super...
Fun fact, RoboCop Rogue City ran better on the Xbox Series X. Not just a fun fact, right?
crisp self-shadows on Senua here too. There does appear to be a VSM issue in this shot though, with a very low-res self-shadow transitioning to a higher resolution version as the camera closes in. We also see more softly diffused shadows, depending on the source. The game's indirect lighting characteristics are a bit tougher to make out in this footage. A lot of the trailer takes place in near absolute darkness, but when we can make out indirect lighting detail, we do find a good gradient in the shadows, which would be characteristic.
Now, one point of contention in the Xbox community and in the gaming community is that, you know, this game has you're only attacking one enemy at a time. And, you know, some persons are saying that the Xbox is not powerful enough to have two. They are saying that the Xbox is not powerful enough to have more than one enemy coming at Senua at the same time. These guys, I don't know. These guys need to go and get their brains checked. If they believed that this wasn't a developer's choice to have one enemy coming at the same time, it's a developer's choice. I am positive that both the X and the X is able to generate more than one character at the same time. But these guys are making a big deal out of it.
Stick of Lumen. And throughout, there's really no standout visual issues with the indirect lighting, which again would suggest an effective use of Lumen. Prior trailers have featured great-looking indirect lighting as well.
What's up, Chris George? Chris George, what's up, man? Welcome.
Reflections are a bit tougher to judge. It's possible there's some screen space effect in the puddle here, but the larger pond doesn't exhibit any SSR occlusion issues at all. Earlier trailers did exhibit some SSR issues, and one appeared to prominently make use of a planar reflection. So at the moment, I think the results are a little ambiguous, suggesting a mix of techniques are likely in play here. The animation is another strong point. Fight sequences here are composed of motion-captured attacks, dodges, and finishing moves, with Senua tackling foes in one-on-one combat. There's a sense that this is probably a less flexible combat experience than a lot of other games, more like the first title, in other words, than something like God of War, but each bit of combat movement feels tightly choreographed as a result.
Right, so yes, so this is the point of contention. He just spoke about it there, where it is, in Hellblade 1, she could have fight more than one characters. But it seems that this was the developer's choice, where it is, during the motion capture scenes, she was only focusing on one character, right? So if that is a deal breaker for some of you guys, no problem. But it's very clear that this is what the developers chose to do. And based on what this guy is saying here, it's very clean, it's very sharp. I really challenge someone to tell me that this doesn't look good.
Make the hits land just that extra bit more, the developers have chosen to pause the animation for a couple extra frames when an attack connects. Relative to 2017's Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, this is a profoundly improved sequel and a game that is generationally advanced beyond its predecessor. Senua's Sacrifice was a good-looking title, and looking back, only some occasional lower fidelity assets really date it. But it's clearly a game that was built around last generation constraints and technology. Hellblade 2 is just on another level in almost every respect in terms of core technology.
What? Did you guys hear that? Hey, did I just hear that? I'm trying to see if I heard right. Let me play that back for these ponies, phonies, and jabronis. Listen carefully to what he said there. I know I have some ponies in this chat. Listen.
Game that was built around last generation constraints and technology. Hellblade 2 is just on another level in almost every respect in terms of core technology.
Look at that. But according to these guys, this game, they said it was bad. But what I'm hearing here is that it is better in every respect. Let me see if I could shout out some new guys that came there. Day Rizzy, what up, man? Delusional Grandeur, what up? Delmas 8713, what up, my dude? Welcome to the show. Yeah, so yeah, he is saying that Hellblade 2 is better than Hellblade 1 in every single way when it comes to the visuals. So no one could say that this game is a downgrade. If anyone saying that this game is a downgrade, they have cataract, glaucoma, and a twist eye, because clearly they can't see. Go and get your eyes checked. Put on the PlayStation VR 2. It's bad for your sight, right? Go and get your eyes checked, because this game, according to Digital Foundry and anyone who have good working eyes, that it is phenomenal in every respect. Listen.
Compared to earlier showings, I think this footage is on par with recent trailers of the game, and is possibly even a bit ahead of Hellblade 2's first gameplay trailer, which isn't quite up to the same level in terms of character rendering. The initial 2019 trailer, with its almost unbelievable fidelity, is a bar this footage probably doesn't quite clear, though I'd really want to see a more varied slice of Hellblade 2 before saying anything dispositive.
Just now, let me pull that back and see what he just said there. Well, let me pull that back. He said something there negative. Let me see if I could address all the negative things there.
In terms of character rendering. The initial 2019 trailer, with its almost unbelievable fidelity, is a bar this footage probably doesn't quite clear, though I'd really want to see a more varied slice of Hellblade 2 before saying anything dispositive.
Right. So what he's saying here is that the first trailer that they showed, this game or the footage that was provided to Digital Foundry, it does not clear the visuals of the footage that was shown before, right? But notice that he himself is saying before he can say this conclusively, he will need to get the game in his hands to get, the actual image. What Digital Foundry got was, an image or a video that was provided to them, and then they will analyze that video. It was not the raw footage of the game itself. And persons thought that Digital Foundry was not playing this game and captured it on a capture card. They were provided a bit of footage, and they were analyzing the footage that they were presented with. Very simple. Let's continue.
There's also the matter of image quality, and here the results are a bit complex. Recent Hellblade 2 footage, likely including the preview footage we have right here, is from Series X, but it's been hard to evaluate image quality because of streaming video compression. Generally, the game has looked soft.
You all heard that? These ponies are sick. Let me play that back over. Because
Here is from Series X, but it's been hard to evaluate image quality because of streaming video compression.
It is hard to evaluate image quality because of streaming compression. It was a video that they were presented with. This was not the actual game, guys. So why are these guys holding on to this 962p? Are you guys nuts? Listen.
Generally, the game has looked soft, but it hasn't been possible to really nail down how the game looks in typical play, until now. In the high-quality preview footage we have, a few things are evident right away. The game is definitely quite soft, especially in motion, though a lot of this seems to stem from very aggressive post-processing. The usual crew shows up here: motion blur, depth of field, chromatic aberration, and film grain, which do end up blurring the image somewhat. Hellblade 2 is unique here in that these effects seem unusually high quality and unusually pervasive. The film grain in particular seems quite harsh, so hopefully the game ships with an option to disable it. I think a little bit of softness, especially in cinematics, is perfectly fine, and the game does have a bit of a filmic look at times as a result.
So yeah, he says that, the video that they were presented with is a bit soft. It's not as sharp as, what was shown in the trailer. But that's a given because it's compressed. No doubt he's saying that maybe when the final game is shipped, they could take off some of that blur because, not everyone likes that type of look. But regardless of how you fiddle with this game, I don't think you can do anything to make this game look bad. This game is still looking stunning. Don't forget, guys, if you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be giving you it. Great content. And I'll be setting narrative straight. Listen.
But there's also some image breakup in motion, which is most noticeable in the action scenes from this preview. Hellblade has a blurred, slightly artifact-prone quality in fast motion, which holds especially true when Senua activates an ability to slow down time here, which turns off the motion blur that otherwise helps to hide some of these artifacts. The preview encode is fortunately high enough quality that we can make out individual pixel edges in a few moments. I got counts on geometry of around 1296p to 1440p or so, though when you factor in the letterboxing, it's more like 2304 by 964 to 2560 by 1070, or roughly in that range.
So that is what they hold on to, the PlayStation community. How he listed out the resolution of the game while in combat, and while it is, they were saying that the developers there at Ninja Theory use, some special techniques to not show up the flaws of the game by blurring some parts of the game while in combat, right? Now, all developers use this type of techniques to hide their imperfections. However, again, this is just a video clip and not raw footage.
However, in common with a wide range of games we've seen over the years, some transparencies use reduced resolution, so geometry beneath will present at that same reduced resolution. Another image quality concern revolves around the resolution of the volumetric effects. The low-lying fog in this scene is a bit artifact-ridden and suffers from visibly low-res rendering. which we also observed with the volumetric lighting in one shot of a previous trailer. These effects.
Right, so he was able to pick up some low-res rendering here. I don't know if they would have time to correct that little low-res there before the game ships, but that is what Digital Foundry do. They go through this with a fine-tooth comb, but I guarantee you, half of you guys are blind. Half of the PlayStation community are blind as a bat. How are they going to pick up these motion blurs and these? Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Adidas 20-0. Thank you very much for that 5-piece there, man. Thank you. Welcome. He says, I'm here.
Look good, I think, but they don't hold up as well with close scrutiny. Performance of the captured footage appears to be generally fine. Now, the footage that we have is encoded at exactly 30 Hz for some reason, not the 59.94 Hz that the Xbox Series consoles output by default. So it's possible that that process, either on the capture side or the encoding side, may have introduced some duplicate frames into the capture. And we do see a good number of duplicate frames throughout the footage. One-off little hitches that could be genuine performance-related drops, or could be artifacts of that process. It's not possible to tell without properly captured and encoded footage.
Now, question for the chat. We've seen here that Hellblade 2 is running at 30 FPS, right? Outside of fighting games, shooters, and so forth, do you guys always want? Could you play a game that is 30 frames per second? Or is 30 frames per second, you start vomiting? You cannot play a game that is 30 frames per second. Let me know. Tell me you could either send me chat 60 frames or nothing, or 30 frames is okay if it is not playing a shooter or or a fighting game or a high-speed game. Let me know what are your thoughts on 30 frames and 60 frames.
But there are no sustained performance drops here at least, which is a good sign. The only real concession in Hellblade 2, judging from this footage, comes down to the size and scope of the game. Hellblade 2 is a smaller title than a lot of its contemporaries, with a structure that seems a lot like the first game. Early trailers suggested something perhaps a bit broader might be in the cards, but more recent showings, including this preview footage, seem to show a game that is more tightly constrained, built around narrow passageways, linear paths, and one-on-one duels. So
this is one criticism from the Digital Foundry team, is that this game is not an open world game. It's not as big as the predecessor. It's smaller. Now this game you'll be paying $50 for this game. And also, if it is you have GamePass or GamePass Ultimate, you'll be able to play this game day one, right? However, it's a linear game. It is not open world. And some games like that is good. However, I don't think the first one was open world. I believe that was also a linear one, but it was just a little bigger. But sometimes when it is, you are so ambitious when it comes to how the game looks. Sometimes certain things have to be cut, whether it be more game or so forth. But for $50 for getting this graphical showpiece, I mean, you can't go wrong, can you?
Judging from the previews from other outlets, the final game may largely stick to this pattern, which would show some restraint relative to other popular single-player action titles. Of course, a lot of players will also take issue with the way the game has seemingly been configured on console platforms. This is a 30 FPS game, with no high frame rate options for console players, which is going to irk some gamers but is reasonable for a title with this level of visual accomplishment. The game's image quality, at least judging from this preview, is a little mixed, though I think expectations should probably be adjusted given the quality and character of the graphics on display. This is a narrative-focused, cinematic title. Think The Order 1886. and isn't aiming for a super sharp, super clear image.
Now, when the Order 1886 came out, was Sony fans complaining that that game was too short? And a better question, didn't Sony charge full price for the Order 1886? I recall Sony charging full price for that game. And these ponies ate it up like it was, sweet bread or ice cream. Come on. But now they have an issue with Hellblade. Give me a chance. Hey, let me just give some shout out of some persons who recently came. Akon, DVS, welcome. Video games, Amanda, what's up? You are check? Yeah, well, Amanda, yeah. Travis Adams, what up? Keston Jeron, what's up, my friend? Welcome, welcome. We are just finishing up the analysis of the, we are analyzing the Hellblade 2 preview that Digital Foundry did, because Sony fans said they gave it a terrible, they gave it a terrible preview. So we are just exposing them to help others to see that it's a lie. So listen on.
On Series X, it's clearly a demanding game, but the results still look excellent overall, I'd say. It's lower power platforms, specifically the Series S, that I'm more curious about.
Well, let's just say everyone is curious about how would the Series S run this. I'm looking forward to see that review, how the Series S run this. I believe it will still run at a 30 frames per second, but maybe at 1440p at its max. I don't think it will go as low as 1080p, but we'll have to wait and see.
The likely much lower internal resolutions on that system, plus any S-specific nips and tucks, could make the game a lot less visually satisfying. The game's configuration on Series X would also place this as one of the more demanding pieces of PC software we've seen so far this generation.
So this is the value that you are getting with the Series X. Now for $500, you'll be able to run this game very smooth. But if it is you decide that you want to run this at 60 FPS with the highest, graphical settings, then your PC, you need to spend some good money on that PC. I'll tell you that. I guarantee you that PC will not be anywhere close to $500 to run this game at 60 frames per second with all the graphical settings. Guarantee you that. But this is a great value for at $50 in Game Pass on the Series X. You can't go wrong.
It might take a pretty solid GPU to manage good image quality at high frame rates, presuming the CPU side of the equation is scalable enough. It's a lot like other high-end UE5 efforts we've seen so far in that respect. So I think Hellblade 2 is bound to create some divides as a result of these compromises. But I have to say that I have a lot of respect for Ninja Theory's creative talents and the immense visual accomplishment this title represents. In my book, this could be the very best looking Unreal Engine 5 title out there when it releases on May 21st, which is no small feat. But I think I've stretched out this preview footage far enough, so we'll have more on the game closer to release. If you enjoyed this preview, please like, subscribe, and press the bell.
What he said
is scalable enough. It's a lot like other high-end UE5 efforts we've seen so far in that respect. So I think Hellblade 2 is bound to create some divides as a result of these compromises. But I have to say that I have a lot of respect for Ninja Theory's creative talents and the immense visual accomplishment this title represents. In my book, this could be the very best looking Unreal Engine 5.
What? Did he say the very best? Did he say the very best, guys? Let me make sure I am hearing what I'm hearing. Because these ponies were saying that he didn't say that, right? So let me go back.
Immense visual accomplishment this title represents. In my book, this could be the very best looking Unreal Engine 5 title out there when it releases on May 21st, which is no small feat. But I think I've stretched out this preview footage far enough, so we'll have more on the game closer to release. If you enjoyed this preview, please like, subscribe, and press the bell for YouTube notification.
Yep. So there you have it. There you have it, guys. we just showed that all this hullabaloo, all of this tweeting this week was all cap. This review helped us to see that they gave this game a stellar review. Who just came in there? I'm seeing So Hazard, PlayStation. So Hazard, welcome my dude. Silk Slayer, what's up? Who again came in? Travis Adams, I don't think I called you out. What's up, my dude? Yeah. So what they are saying is that I think I'm going to make some of you guys moderators. I know some of you guys. Let me make. Now keep the chat clean, guys. I have to make some of you guys moderators. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. NYG Mav, I think I'll make you a moderator. Add a moderator. Right? Keep the chat clean. I don't want to set obscenities and so forth. Let me make who else? As I go on, I will see who else I need to make moderators. Right? So keep the chat clean, guys. Yeah. So everything that they were saying was cap. Right? Now, let me hear what you think. Now, guys, if it is you want to hear, or if it is you want to share what you thought about any topic that was mentioned today, let me show you where you can send a voice note to. You see, I think it will show up on the screen. You see that there? Go to Island Gaming J on Twitter. Send me a voice note, and I will play it live on air about any one of the opinions, any one of the topics that we spoke about today. Send me a voice note in my inbox, and I will play it online. Keep it clean, please. No cursing. Right? Good. So this is what we are seeing. Now, all around, we are seeing that Microsoft is having an okay week. They're having a good week. And a matter of fact, we also saw that this week, the Fallout series came on stream on Amazon Plus, and it got a very good review. I think it got like 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very good. But when it comes to games, because of the success of this series, what we are seeing is that there is a spike when it comes to the Fallout series. So all through Microsoft Store, persons are buying up Fallout games. They are downloading the Fallout, the new Fallout that came out. Fallout, is it 76? That Fallout game, the online one. Fallout 4 is going to get an update. So, the Fallout community is having a good week, and in extension, a good month, right? So, guys, let me see if any one of you guys send me any voice note here. I can play it on stream for you live. Well, no one has sent any voice note. So, for the next show, this is what you could do. Send me a voice note on any one of the topics, and no doubt I will play it for you guys. But I think I would call it a night. I mean, we didn't have too much news this week. I had a number of slides that I wanted to show, but it's not playing with me here. It's not this sharing feature is not doing what I wanted to do. So I'll leave it for the next show. But we have just crossed the hour mark. I want to thank you guys, all the supporters. This is new to me. As we grow, no doubt I will get better song effects. Not forgetting that I still say that the Sony fan has.
This is a sickness. It is deviant, therefore we don't want it.
But guess what? I am here. Call me Dr. J. I am here to help these ponies get dewormed. Because that's it, they have worms, right? I would be helping these guys out. And I'll tell you, it's all in fun and games, guys. I am here to help you out. When it is I discipline these ponies, it's because I love you guys. It's love. Don't you guys know love when you see it? Right? But anyway, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to like this stream. Don't forget to share it. But this is how it would go. When it is we have more gaming news, guys, the show will be longer. This week was a slow week. However, we know that these ponies can't stop being sick. So once the ponies don't get healed miraculously, I will still be in business. So guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for those who donated. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.